is it? Alright, there we go. Welcome to episode 109 of the CosCast. I am your main host, Pixie Dust Cosplay, as always, and with me I have my fellow co-hosts.
Annabella Cosplay.
And then Jesse Cosplay.
Hey! And we are also joined by two special guests today. We're joined by Ingrid Beast Cosplay and Superhero Girl Creations.
Oh.
Welcome. Just a little bit of a preface. Today I'm getting sick, so I might be a little bit woozy or unfocused at times. So if you're wondering why, that's why. But let's not focus on that. We're going to be talking about the founding of the very first Norwegian Cosplay Association and what that means and what it's all about and what you people out there can do to get involved with it or just, inform you about what this whole thing is really about. But before we do that, we're just, as always, going to go into our normal segments. So let's talk a little bit about Cosplay Progress. Have we been working on anything cosplay related this week?
I have not done any fabric work or anything like that, but I have done something CosCast related this week. I've been editing some videos.
Yes, you have. Quite a few, 3 videos or something.
Yeah, I have 3 videos that's ready, and 2 are ready to be uploaded. I'm not going to upload them right now, so you guys have to wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But one is coming tomorrow, and that's basically just our Spill Expo promo thing. Yes. So that's going to be good.
Yes, because we'll be at Spill Expo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. No. Anyone else?
No, not really. I've been working on the prize for our Halloween contest this year. Coloring this dude here. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's kind of cosplay related because it is my character.
Yeah. It's at least CosCast related,
yeah.
Which is cosplay related. So
yeah,
yes, by association.
Yay!
Melina, Ingrid, have you been working on anything?
I've been doing stuff for Euro Cosplay because there's some deadlines coming up. One which is tonight.
Oh, shit.
So I've been working on my stage direction and tech direction tonight, basically, and finishing touches on my sound file, my audio file for Euro Cosplay. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. So yay!
Yeah, wish you the best of luck with that. It's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Melina?
I've been doing some new Furiosa stuff. I never seem to finish that girl. And I am working on a secret winter cosplay. I don't know if I can make the character justice, so I won't say what it is, but it involves a lot of snow. So I'm hoping for snow this year.
Ooh, I'm excited for that now.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to see what that's going to be. Let's see. Our viewers, Ryudai received some cosplay fabric swatches. Yes, fabric tests for 2 cosplays. And Himedera is sewing right now, so that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be wearing the costume tomorrow, so she has a short deadline.
Fight-o!
Yes, Fight-o, you can do it. Yeah, I haven't been working on anything lately. There just hasn't been any time, at all. So, yeah, rest in peace, cosplay. I haven't, no. But I have figured out I will be going to Dazukan Cosplay in Japan.
Me too.
Yes, we're both going. Sunniva will be in Spain at the time, so
I'm in
can't go.
Spain attending a wedding, so I'm not
Yes.
gonna be there.
So we're looking forward to seeing people at Desicon Cosplay in Japan. And since I got my Yuri on Ice glasses, I'm gonna go as Yuri to Desicon.
Yay!
So
I'll most likely be joining as Emil at
Yeah.
Desicon because Yuri on Ice. Emil.
Yes. It just had its 1 year anniversary, so.
I know. Plus, any chance to cosplay Yuri on Ice, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so comfortable. So comfortable.
Yeah, I don't have any cosplay plans for Desicon yet. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
It'll be a surprise.
You'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Ramidev says, I have 5 plans in progress and wondering what I'm doing with my life, but I'm loving it.
Yeah, I can relate. I can, really.
And yeah, Lucia Ferra has been doing like lots of creepy makeup tests this week, and we've been loving like watching the different things popping up. So creepy.
Yeah, you know, like one of the motivations that I had personally to get into cosplay was to do creepy stuff from horror films and such. But what have I ended up doing? I've ended up doing like 2 different anime characters. That's not really scary at all. And I've done Belle from Beauty and the Beast. That's not scary. I've done Hermione. She's not scary. So I haven't really stood up to my true self yet. But yeah, it's coming.
That's tomorrow, though.
Sorry, Kat.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, you have done Samara in the past, so 1 creepy cosplay.
I've done Samara. I've done 1 horror cosplay. Yeah.
Hinadad and her friends are doing Mystic Messenger again. That's so cute.
Ooh, yeah.
I love Mystic Messenger. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to news. The news of the week. Let's see. Yes. So the first thing I wanted to share is from geekxgirls.com, and they just shared this beautiful Art Nouveau Disney fan art made by artist Letty Bobetti. And I thought it was so gorgeous. I really liked the style and all the details. I mean, this has taken some time and dedication to do. They're just so beautiful. So I figured it was worth sharing.
Always beautiful with Disney stuff.
Yes. And very simple. The next one is that BuzzFeed posted a lot of photos of Galaxy makeup recently. They did a little list thingy. And a familiar face popped up at the bottom of the list. Let's see. You can probably recognize this little bean. It's Silja Danielsen in her Space Dad Galaxy makeup.
So good!
It's so good.
It's so good!
So cute. So congratulations on being featured on BuzzFeed. It was super cool seeing you there, along with all of these other cute Galaxy makeup things.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Galaxy makeup on Instagram lately.
Yeah. Me too.
And I'm loving it all, so please continue with
It's
doing.
adorable. Okay, the next piece of news is that the official Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer was released today. And I haven't seen it, but I have it queued on YouTube, so I'm going to watch it after the episode. And
So that means no Overcast today, no. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding. Also, they will be releasing the tickets at Colosseum Kino on Tuesday from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. So they won't be opening the ticket sales officially online until they finish with the actual physical line outside of the...
Is it actually on Tuesday and not on Monday?
Yeah, it says Tuesday at 9 a.m. till 12 p.m.
Wow. Because that's new, because they usually have it on Mondays.
Yeah. I've never really paid attention to it, but it does say Tuesday. So
I've been queuing up a lot.
You're experienced.
I've spent many a cold night outside of that cinema.
Oh, good. Remove those. All right, but that's pretty much all of the news I wanted to screen share, at least, with you guys this week. I have some other pieces of news, of course. Inktober is a thing, and I've been seeing a lot of cool art showing up in my stream, but art made by cosplayers or illustrators or, hobbyists, and I just think it's so cool to see all the different takes that people are doing in regards to Inktober. So, and I've started doing it myself too. So I'm playing the catch-up game because I didn't start until like day 3 or 4. So, yeah.
I think Jawsome Art is actually streaming every day for Inktober on Twitch.
Yeah, I think so
which
too.
is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So go check up Jawsome. They're amazing.
Yes. Jawsome has done this right here and that one. So yeah. Jawsome is awesome.
Yes, we support the arts.
Yeah.
Just keep it up, people. It's super cool.
Yeah. Oda Sacco is my only contribution to Inktober. Sorry. So, and yeah, it's fine.
And this too. You did this earlier today.
But that's
so.
not ink, that's pencils. It doesn't count.
Oh.
That's so cute though.
Then.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Yeah. And the thing is about Oda, he can soon be one of our lucky contestants.
Yeah, they can win him because we have a Halloween contest going on Instagram. So if you post a Halloween-themed picture, it could be a cosplay, a makeup test, just a picture of some cool decorations you put up, or a drawing, or whatever. As long as it's Halloween-themed, you can post it and hashtag it with CosCast Halloween 17. And you could win a cute little prize. There's a little keychain thingy and a card game and some original art made by Tonya. So yeah, post your Halloween pictures.
Who, me?
You.
What?
It is I.
Every time I hear it is I the only thing I can, follow that up with is Leclerc.
Yes.
It's I, Leclerc.
Yes. Or now it could also be Reggie.
Yes. It could be.
Elegy.
Reggie. And for those of you who don't get that inside joke, you should go watch the Fateful Fumble Betrayal Raven crossover episode that we live streamed yesterday. For
It's 6 hours, but still.
It's so
Good
good.
stuff.
It's
Worth it.
Yeah.
And there's some bits that you can fast forward
Yeah,
because
like our pee
we had
breaks,
some
you don't
breaks.
have to watch them.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing thing. And for those of you who don't know, Fateful Fumble and Betrayal Raven are our Dragon Age RPG series that we live stream on YouTube. And Fateful Fumble is also a podcast that you can download from iTunes. So go check it out. It's super cool. Yes. That's all of the housekeeping.
Sahara Sarah says, made it! Hello from London! Hi!
Oh, hi.
Hello!
I think Melina might have fallen out of the chat, so I hope we'll be able to get her back somehow.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay. Your video, your video froze. So.
No,
you can.
I'm just sitting very still.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was a little
I'm not that
nervous.
active.
Nervous for a little while. Okay. But yeah, so that's pretty much like all the housekeeping things done for now. So let's just dive straight into our main subject, which is the forming of the Norwegian Cosplay Association. So Tonya, maybe you want to start with the first few questions?
Yeah. All right. So, what exactly is an association? What does an association do?
Well, it's a group organized to protect or promote the interest of members. To say it really short.
Yeah. It's usually a non-commercial thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Non-profit. Association isn't made to make money.
No. yeah, like I googled like it on the free dictionary a while earlier just to get like a dictionary definition of the word association. So the closest thing that I found that was relevant is it's an organized body of people who have an interest, activity, or purpose in common, a society of sorts. So yeah, sort of.
That pretty much covers it.
Yeah, it pretty much covers it.
All right. So, why did
Lucia Farah says in the chat that there's no video from Melina. There's only sound.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my pajamas anyway, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But still, the sound is the most important part.
Yeah,
of
we can
this.
hear you at least.
it is. So,
It would have been worse if we didn't have the sound and just the picture. Not all of us can read lips.
no, it would be like a miming game or something. That could be fun. No. So, why did you and the other initiative takers decide to begin the process of forming an association?
It's kind of something that I have heard come up in conversation a lot of times since I came into the cosplay community, really. And sometimes it's just been like, oh yeah, we should have had an association for this, or like an organization for it, or as just a side comment. And sometimes it's actually become a discussion, a point of discussion, and sort of something we talk about is like, oh yeah, that would have been cool. And you know, especially for example in cases where Cosplay Norway has been taking the brunt of trying to inform people outside the cosplay community about things. A lot of people talked about there should have been like an organization that could take care of things like that, because it shouldn't be the responsibility of someone who just runs a blog or happen to run a Facebook page where people from outside the community find them quickly, or like they'll be the first search results to come up on a Google search. It shouldn't be their responsibility to take on lots and lots of questions that they may or may not have both the knowledge and the energy to address. And so having something that can actually take on things like that and other things. For example, if you're completely new in the cosplay community and you don't have any tools or anything to make cosplays, how on earth do you get about finding out how to get hold of tools or borrow them and stuff? And if you have an organization, you could have someone to contact to say, hi, I'm really new to this. Are there any maker spaces or any sort of tool pools that I can use, for example? And an organization would then be able to inform them that, hey, there's lots of libraries that have the maker spaces. They have a lot of different tools that you can borrow for free. But stuff like that is just by hearsay, and it becomes the sort of who you know in the cosplay community rather than the information that is accessible. And I think sort of association would help flatten out social structures and privilege in the cosplay community and make it a lot easier for people who are fresh in the game or might not have the same type of resources or network that a lot of other people have. And then there's also the people who do actual work through cosplay, and they have a lot of issues that pop up. They could use somewhere where they could get help, or at least get some guidance on where to go if they need any legal advice or wherever. And I mean, we have photographers who have gone together and made an amazing page with information on rights and wrongs and do's and don'ts in regards to cosplay photography. But not everyone knows how to find that page unless they know where to look for it. So having a organization that can just have that link and say, here's lots of information that is useful. So I think it's one of those things where people have talked about different aspects of it at different times and different settings over many, many, many years. And it's all accumulated to like, okay, let's get this done. Let's get this to start it up and on its feet.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Mm.
Short answer. That was actually a long answer.
Yeah, but long answers are good. I mean, it's thorough. It means that you guys have been thinking a lot about this. And what it sounds like to me is like that it sounds like you wanted to start this because you feel like the community needs a resource or that everyone can be, share and be part of.
Yeah. I think so, and I think that the important thing is that this is something that the community does together, and not just like a small core of people who know each other. Because, I mean, it would have been really easy to just start an association and just say, okay, yeah, we'll be in the board, and we'll just, I'll be the leader, you'll be the vice leader, and, you'll be this and you'll be that, and we're good to go. But I think that would be really unfair, because then people would feel like, oh, so it's just like a group of friends who started this.
Yeah.
We don't know them. We didn't choose them,
Yeah. What makes them, qualified?
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of thing.
So by opening this up to everyone to participate and contribute, I hope that this will be something that the community feels ownership to, and not just the people who started it. But obviously that relies very heavily on people actually taking initiative and being interested and willing to put some work into it, because it is a lot of work.
Melina, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think the reason for me is, as Ingrid, I've heard this conversation so many times. Oh, we should have a union, we should get organized. And I think the final straw for me was I'm doing a lot of workshops outside the cosplay communities. I'm doing like Warbler workshop at places that you may not say are cosplay related, like libraries and stuff. And so I've seen a lot of new people who are not in the cosplay community just showing up because they thought it looked fun on the poster at the library. And they have never cosplayed before, they have no idea, and you really want to do it, but they don't know anyone. And I was like, yeah, you're on Facebook? No. Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't know anyone. And then you are pretty much fucked, because how do you get into the community then?
Yeah.
So if you have had an organization, you can say, yeah, go on that web page, and we can get you in contact with cons and people and friendship groups and everything. But when the whole of the cosplay community are based around Facebook, it's difficult when you are 12 years old to get into the community. And I think that's important for new people.
Yeah.
And as well as the people who do this more of a living and earning money on cosplay as well. So it's two aspects of why it's important to have this.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
I think it's a really important thing to point out, because a lot of people have been worried that it'll, create more inequality in the community and things like that. But the thought is that this is a resource that is supposed to be utilized by all kinds of cosplayers, young, old, experienced, inexperienced.
Yeah, exactly. And my hope is that it'll do the opposite. It'll actually work against the sort of having levels or cliques and stuff, and it'll make things easier to communicate. It'll even out a lot of privileges. I mean, you have people who cosplay who have jobs and they have an income, and then you have people who cosplay who are still in school and they have the money that their parents can give to them, and some parents might not have that much money and they might not have that much resources. They may not be on Facebook, they may not have everything else. So there's a lot of social aspects and privileges here that come into play. And if you have somewhere that's accessible to everyone, rather than just the people who happen to be lucky enough to possess those resources already, then I think that would help even things out a lot. And hopefully, it will.
Do you like art has pointed out an interesting question in the chat, but it's kind of part of a later question, like question 8, which we will get to later. So I'm going to save her question for then.
Yup.
Yeah.
At question 3, we'll already kind of answer that, and that is why do you think Norway should have a cosplay association? So we can just skip to the part of what kind of goals do you think this cosplay association should be working towards? Just listing up what you guys are feeling.
Elena, should I?
Yeah, sure. I think I covered some of the things on the last question. For me, it's really important to have someone to back up new people and help out with those. And if you are organized, you are stronger together, and you can apply for certain benefits from the government, and those benefits can go back to our members, like support cosplay initiatives, non-profit meetups, and stuff like that. So everything coming into an organization like this will go directly out to our members.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, for example, I see a lot of times when there's workshops and stuff in the Oslo area, there's always at least one comment, if not more, saying, oh, why is everything always in Oslo? And if we have an organization, an association, they could help others organize things in their local hometowns and stuff. And so that, okay, you can apply for financial support to get this done in your hometown. Here, throw money on you, get stuff started, and they could also be a resource for helping you out to find out what kind of people you need to get in touch with. All sorts of stuff. And I think that is also something, because it is very centralized. Things tend to happen in Trondheim and Oslo, and sometimes Stavanger, and sometimes Kristiansand. But it's kind of like it's the big cities. So if you live in a small area, it's kind of difficult to get to all of these workshops and events that happen.
And what's also important for me is another aspect. It's to fight for promoting cosplay as an equal part-time hobby. Like now it's, you play football, you do sports, and everyone is like, yeah, cool. I know you do cosplay. It's like, dress up, what you said you do. So I want cosplay to be a bigger part of our society.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about promotion.
As we say in Norwegian, stuerent.
Yeah, stuerent.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it more acceptable amongst the mainstream people as an alternative to people who don't want to do the marching bands and musical bands and stuff, and football, because that's like you do football or you do quite.
Yeah.
So kinda,
not that there's anything wrong with either of those, but it's
No.
nice to have an option.
Yeah.
And both of them are great. It's just that some people don't want to do either and want to do cosplay, and then people are like, is that even a legitimate hobby?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think, in my opinion, probably an important goal for an association would also try to, maintain the core values of the community which it belongs to. Like equality and openness and acceptance and all of the cornerstones that are so treasured in the Norwegian cosplay community.
Sorry.
And good ways to do that are, as you say, by organizing social events or workshops, or maintaining that people have easy, accessible resources at hand to figure things out.
And I think it's important that if you get into trouble, it's easier to have someone to contact and not write that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like say that you have had a really bad experience at a convention.
Yeah.
And you don't want to write that on Facebook and say person number 1 did this and that. What do I do? And if you don't know a lot of people, like if you are new or if it's someone like famous who has done something shitty to you, it's nice to have some neutral ground to talk to. Because if you write something on Facebook, a lot of people are going to say a lot of things. They always do. And that can be scary. And sometimes it's not smart to write stuff like that on Facebook unless the issue are resolved.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes people just need to know who they can actually get in touch with. I mean, if you're at a convention and you get pickpocketed, like someone steals your stuff, and you walk over to a crew and they help you, but it's like they don't know where to guide you, or you get poor service, and you're like, oh, where do I bring this up? And most conventions have like a feedback form, but that tends to get drowned out in all the post-con raving and people posting stuff on pages and stuff, and especially now with Facebook feeds being what they are and not showing everything. So having an organization where you can go and it's like, who do I turn to if I've had a bad experience and I didn't really know how to go about this? And they can just say, oh yeah, we have a list of contact emails for that convention, and here's their website. This is their feedback form, or a link to their feedback form. And you can actually go through the right channels instead of posting something on Facebook, which may or may not be helpful at all, and might even lead to worsening the situation for a lot of people. And I mean, I've seen organizers get really, really frustrated with sort of like, this is the first thing I've heard about this. And it's been like, people have been talking about it on social media for a week now, but we've not heard anything as organizers because no one told us. And yeah, stuff like that.
So, and everything you say sounds so good and so, positive, but the idea of Cosplay Association has received some critique from parts of the community. Why do you think that is?
I think it's legitimate to be skeptical about new things, especially when it's a hobby that you're passionate about. And I think it's completely valid. I think people should be allowed to feel skeptical about it, as long as they're also open to listening to responses and listening to people address those issues. I think a lot of people may have had issues because they don't quite understand what an association does or what it means to have an association. And I think a lot of people have been worried that this is like us imposing some sort of form of government in the cosplay community, where we can just like sit in power and decide this and this and this, and now people have to do as we say, which is very, very far from the truth. So, because the power that a association will have is completely limited to the power that the community is willing to give it.
What do you think, Melina?
Yeah, what she said. I think Ingrid covered it. Yeah. And we also seen at a Facebook event that when people have asked questions and gotten answers, they're happy. So I think just people want information.
Yeah.
I think this came to like a surprise to a lot of people, and I think also that is why a lot of people has been a bit negative towards it. And of course, new things always gets feedback, both positive and negative, and I guess most people have just been curious, wanting answers. No one has been like, oh, you guys suck. No, that hasn't happened. Everyone has had legit questions. No one has really, really been mean and just,
Yeah, I think it's like, and sometimes when you're skeptical and when you're worried, people say things that might not come across the way they meant it, and there have been some hot debates. But I think at the end of it, once we've sort of gotten to discovered what the issue has been, it's all been good, and we've communicated, and it's fine. And it's like, oh, so that's what you meant. Okay, cool. And I think we should have room for that in our community, that people are allowed to feel frustrated and feel worried and express that. I think it's really important that we have that. So yeah, as long as we were, nice towards each other and take care of each other in the end, then that's the important thing.
Sunniva, you want to take the next questions?
Of course. How do you guys think that a cosplay association will affect the cosplay community? For better or worse? I guess better, but yeah.
Yeah, of course better, or else we wouldn't have started this.
Yeah. I don't feel like there's a very big chance that it'll affect it negatively. I think in the worst case scenario, it just doesn't work. And it'll become something that's like a project that we tried and it's like, yeah, no, this isn't actually working. We'll just end it. That's going to be the worst case scenario. And I don't think that will affect anyone negatively, except for the people who have put a lot of work and their time into it, and it's going to waste. I think that's the worst case scenario, to be quite honest, because like I said, there's no way that a organization like that is going to have the power to actually do anything negative unless the community wants that. So yeah.
I think that it sort of will become whatever the members want it to become, or how much energy people put into it. So it all depends on what happens the 1st of November, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
There's a question in the chat from Harasara. Will there be a sort of membership, and would it cost money to be a part of it?
That question has been asked. Yeah, you can respond to that.
I do think, yeah, as I said, the question has been asked, but we can't take that decision here. The community has to do that at a meeting. It's certain benefits if we take a little charge for membership. You have certain rights for a volunteer organization that way, but we can't say.
No.
We can't take the decision now.
No, and I think that goes for pretty much any sort of decision making with regards to this association. It's not up to Melina and me or any of the others who started this. It's up to the community, because this is an association that is to be formed by the community, and so the community should decide. And what we as initiative takers can provide is as much information about the different choices that we have as we can get. We can provide pros and cons and read up on stuff and provide information about the different aspects of it. As Melina said, there are some pros of having a membership, but obviously we would have to put that question to the community, and they'll have to decide whether or not they think that it's worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, because the norm is to have a membership, and that members pay a small fee, and usually it's not a whole lot of money for for a term.
I think it's like for those specific benefits that Melina is talking about, I think it's like a minimum of 50 crowns.
Yeah, 50 crowns. Yeah. But now it's not that common in Norway yet, but it's really common abroad, is that you have 2 types of membership. You have the standard fee, and then you have like a sponsored membership. So you pay a little extra if you can afford it, and then you sponsor someone else's membership who can't afford it. So like if you pay 50 kroners for an ordinary membership here, the people who can afford it can pay 100 kroners and then you have sponsored someone else's, and that's quite common. It's not that common in Norway yet, but I really like that idea that if you have the opportunity, you can help someone else.
Well, that would certainly help out with the whole inequality issue, for sure.
And also 50 crowns 1 year isn't that much either.
So
no.
And Ranirav says in the chat that 50 kroner is the minimum for membership fees for a union to get funding, I believe, from the state. So there is certainly something to consider when the union is funded. So yeah, if you have a membership, you can you can get state or government funding to your association if you have membership fees.
Yeah. All right. But what can people do to make sure that their interests will be taken care of?
Participate. Seriously, participate and get involved and send in suggestions. There is a form where you can send in a suggestion of what you think the union should be or the association should be focusing on, and what kind of things should be important there. And that's open for anyone to send in. If you want to get really involved, then run for the board. Send in a form to run for one of the positions on the board, because this isn't going to happen unless people are willing to put down work into it. And that's always how it is with change in any sort of setting, is that someone's got to do the work, unfortunately. But in the end, it's going to be worth it, because it's going to be working for the best of everyone. So, yeah.
Sure.
Yes, and you can also...
Cecilia... Yeah, sorry, just go. Melina.
Oh, yeah. I just want to say that all of this information are also put on a homepage, so you don't have to be on Facebook to find it. So you don't have to like sign up on the event or anything, because you can find everything online as well.
Yeah, that's good.
And we'll plug the web pages and everything later on.
Yeah. Cecilia Hansen is having a question. She's wondering how the voting will go, because she's gonna be watching Les Mis, and that starts at 19:30 that day. And she's wondering, like, if she can come and see some of it, or
we haven't actually we haven't agreed upon how the actual voting will happen, because we want to find a means where as many people as possible can participate, regardless of whereabouts in the country they are, or whether or not they can actually make it to the event. I would really like to find a way where we can have people can send in voting beforehand, so that if people can't be there for the live voting, they can send in a form beforehand, just like you have with the election. So I'm hoping that we can find some sort of system that allows us to do that, because I think it would be really, really awful if people miss out because they're working or they already have other engagements.
Could you do it like a survey, maybe? Like, and then people can just tag off for who they want to.
I mean, there are ways of filling out, like making forms. For example, I know that Google has at least on the old Google forms, you can check off a box to allow people to just send it in once, and then you have to sign on. But it's not kind of that secure either. But I mean, we'll be looking at a lot of solutions, and hopefully we'll find something that will work for everyone. So
it's also certain rules about how the voting must go on when you are starting this. So we have to make sure that everything goes according to the books.
Also, I mean, if anyone watching this has experience with this and has suggestions, then please contact us. We are very, very happy to receive any help that you would wish to give us. So please get in touch if you have any suggestions or have any experience with it.
Cool. But then the next question will answer what I think Yuri was wondering earlier. See, also, no, it was. It was Yuri who wondered about this. The association meeting will be held in Oslo, but can the rest of the country participate in any way?
Well, we are going to be live streaming it so that everyone can see it. And we will have a chat, and we'll be moderating that chat so that people can send in questions and participate through that. Also, people can send in stuff beforehand if they can't be there at the time, as mentioned before. And also, with regards to the specific question that was asked, I think it was basically...
she was wondering if you could participate if you are not living in Oslo as, a leader or something else, or how would that work?
And that is very, very easily managed by the fact that we now have things such as this, Hangouts and Skype and Messenger. So a lot of business meetings actually use Skype these days, or Google Hangouts, because that means that people who are part of different branches in different cities can sit down and have a meeting and just have a video conference. So we would solve that by having video conferences with people who live out of town. So it doesn't matter whereabouts in Norway you live, or even if you live abroad for a year or whatever, as long as you're interested in participating and you have the time to do the work and you want to be part of it. The important thing.
Very good point. No matter where you live, you can apply to and to run for the board.
And I would like to also encourage people who don't live in Oslo to apply, because I'd like to see more people from other circles and other groups of cosplay community inside the community be part of this, because my worst fear is that we'll end up with just like the people who normally involve themselves with stuff like this, which is, it's fine, but I feel like it wouldn't represent the whole community, and we need more people from different places and different backgrounds to get involved. So please, if you're watching this and you live outside of Oslo or any of the other big cities and you'd like to get involved, then get involved, because we need you there. So
we want variety. Yay!
Yes.
Cecilia says, Sarah, you should apply. You're always complaining about not living in Oslo, so...
please do.
There you go.
And I mean, if you are part of the board, then you actually represent the community, and you get to, through that representation, have a say on things and actually be able to, influence things. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. Then the last question isn't really a question. And maybe you, Pixie, can take it, because I don't really understand how you have written it or how you intend it to be said. So I'm going to give it to you.
I'll do that, because it was my thing. So it's basically just a call to action. If you are invested in this subject, in the forming of the first Norwegian Cosplay Association, if you want to be part of it, or if you just want to be at the meeting and have your opinion, then, participate and get involved. Go check out the Facebook page for the meeting, or go check out the official web page and figure out how you can vote, or how you can participate in the meeting, or how you could run for the board of the association. Personally, I'm running for second in command, or just general board member.
And you can run for several positions.
Yes,
by the way,
at the same time. You don't have to run for just one. I'm running for 3. So Yeah. So yeah, if you want to have your say, and if you want to make sure that things are, or that your opinion matters, and that you get to do something about this and protect the community and work for the community that you love, get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And also spread the news.
Yeah.
Spread the news. Share the event. Share the web page to friends that you know of in the community, because there's only so much we can do with regards to information. We can put it out there, but in the end, if people don't see it and don't read it, then we're left nowhere. So please share it with as many people as possible, so that as many people have the opportunity to make an informed decision about whether or not this is something they'd like to get involved in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and if you want to share it, you can either share the Facebook event, or if you need a pre-written press release, you can get that as well.
Just ask Melina; she has it.
Yeah.
She can help you.
Cecilia Hansen is saying that you should share this stream everywhere because it was really informative and great.
Awesome. That's
So
good.
you guys have done a good job.
Yay.
Yes.
And Ryurai is seriously considering applying. And Ryurai, you should.
Yes.
You
Yes,
are probably
please
one
do.
of the most. I'm not sure when, but you are really, really good at this kind of stuff. And I know you are good at this kind of stuff.
Do it.
Yeah, and you're always very present on social media, and I love that because you take responsibility of getting into the action and actually being there and getting involved. So get involved on a bigger scale.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want you there.
Yes, we want everyone. Are there any specific positions that you would like more applicants for, that you're still lacking some candidates for?
Well, as it always is with stuff like this, from previous experience, the more responsibility, the less people apply. So if you feel like you have the experience and the personality to take on a leader position, then please run as a leader or a vice leader. If you like working with numbers and accounting and money and funding and stuff like that, and basically economy, then we could use more people to run for the is it accounting?
I guess.
The
Register.
Cosseres, yeah. Accounting position, the Cosseres. And if you like working with information flow and sort of social media and customer service type of stuff, and organizing meetings and writing notes for meetings and such, then apply as a secretary. These are all positions that demand a lot more responsibility, and I know that not everyone has the time or energy for that, but we do need more people there, because currently we have very few people applying there. Personally, I've applied for the secretary position, and there's just me for now. So please apply if you feel like you have both the interest and ability to actually do those type of jobs. We need you. So please, come to us.
Yeah, and if you get elected, you have a 1-year term, if I'm not mistaken.
That's not necessarily the case. It could be if the community decides that, for example, the leader positions and the 4 core positions, the leader, the vice leader, the secretary, and the finances person, sit for 2 years, and the rest of the board sit for 1 year.
Yeah,
but
just
this
to
is
get continuity, like.
Yeah, and that's usually because if you want to get stuff done, it can often be a good a pro rather than a con to have a 2-year period, because then you can work on a longer time frame. But this is something that hasn't been decided yet either.
But it's good for people to know, like how much time and they can expect to have to put into it and things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And I mean, treasurer. Thank you, Christina. Treasurer.
Yes,
that's the one. But yeah, so apply for leader, vice leader, treasurer, and secretary. We need more people for that. Yes, rewrite. Run for secretary.
Yes.
Do it.
Do it. I think secretary would be a very interesting job, actually.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much all the questions and things that we had prepared. If you guys have any more questions, you can write them in the chat, and we'll answer them as best we can. We'll just give you some time to think, and while you think, we'll just move on into our geekery section.
Or is there anything else that Ingrid or Merlina want to say before we
can go there
change the...
I just want to say that it's not just Ingrid and me who started this
Yeah.
snowball rolling. It's a lot of other people as well. So it's just that we are here on this show, but it's a lot of other people that's contributed as well.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to say woo to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kudos to all of the people who have been involved.
Yeah, it's not Team Ingrid and Melina.
No. And all of the people who wanted to be recognized as initiative takers have been mentioned on the Facebook event page.
Yeah.
So if you want to know who the other initiative takers are, you can have a look over there.
Then it's some more people than just them as well. So you know who you are, everyone.
Awesome. Okay. That was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, and I'm just happy that you guys have considered doing the pre-voting, and if you get that going, that would be perfect, because I'm actually working that day, so I'm not off work until 8. So either way, I'm not able to participate in any way. But if you have like the pre-voting system, I know that a lot of people who work shifts and work nights would be happy.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think if I was to add anything, it's just like get involved. Get involved, and that's it.
Make shit happen.
Make shit happen.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So we'll move into geekery, and if you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat. We'll get to it. So have we guys watched, read, or listened to anything or played anything that we would like to recommend to our viewers this week?
Dragon Age role-playing game.
Yes.
Watch 6 hours of it.
Yes. Unfaithful Fumble.
Who needs sleep?
Yeah, I can't.
I know, right?
That we live streamed for over 6 hours yesterday. That was crazy.
It was crazy.
It's fun.
Yes.
Yes, Timidera, do it.
Yes,
do it.
Do it.
People in the chat.
I binge watched the entire 9th season of RuPaul's Drag Race. I can recommend that.
Yes.
All the trash. Yes. Watch Free. I've been binging Free, and I am now officially free trash because swimming dork. Yeah.
I've been. I've been watching a new anime, or several new, but I really can't remember all of them because Japanese. I'm not good at. But one though is Boruto, the son of Naruto. I've watched only a few episodes, but I like it so far. I was skeptical at first, but I like it.
Awesome. I've not seen either. I've never followed Naruto, and I haven't seen Boruto, so
I don't know you.
I haven't seen Naruto either. Sorry.
I haven't either.
Nope.
I have no friends.
Well, Himedere in the chat says Boruto, and she's like, yeah.
Ah, hey, Midera, you're my new friend.
Lucia Farah says that she started watching the K-drama Goblin and is loving it. So that sounds intriguing.
Thank you, Sahara Sarah. You trash bin. Yes. The trash
And
bin.
There's
then,
actually a... Oh, I'm sorry, Melina.
I just want to say that I want to promote something non-trash like the rest of you. You can watch other things as well.
Mm.
I just finished season 2 of The Expanse, who is it's a sci-fi series, Netflix original. So season 1 and 2 are up now, and for everyone who just miss that kind of sci-fi, like Firefly. Politics, good space techniques like spaceships that don't blow up in space. You should really watch The Expanse. It's so good.
I've heard a lot of good things about it too.
Yeah, I was
I have
watching
also
it.
heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, I was watching it and was like, yeah, I needed this sci-fi in my life. And I need more season and more episodes.
Yeah, there's been a hole in my heart since Firefly.
Yeah, and it's just so nerve-wracking. You can't breathe and it's just so exciting.
Ooh.
And I also want to say that HBO has posted all episodes of Parks and Recreation as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
I love
you
Parks
can
and Rec.
binge watch my favorite Leslie.
Little Sebastian!
Heart.
All right, but there's actually a legit question in the chat though. And it's from Rira Art, and she's wondering if there is age limit to applying. Did my sound cut off again?
No age limit to applying. I'm actually not sure about Melina.
I don't think we have actually talked about that. And
I mean,
no.
I don't really see how they should be. At least, like, I would assume that most associations would have an age limit of like at least 16, which would make sense just because there's certain responsibilities involved. But no, we haven't really discussed it. So.
Yeah. I mean, at least if you're going to be treasurer, I think you need to be of a certain age to take on that responsibility.
Yes, I think you need to be over 18 or something if you're going to be treasurer. But I think the other positions are kind of like,
Avon
I'd say
also, No, go ahead, finish what you're saying.
And I know it's some sort of rules to register stuff that you have to be a certain age, but I don't really know if that's just someone on the board has to do it or the person who signs it. I can't say that now. I'm sorry.
Ivan too is also asking a question, and it has been addressed, but it's worth repeating because he's asking. I think you should mention what the Cosplay Association is not about. An example: will it be a cosplay police? Will it be a controlling organ in any way? And again, I'd say no. It's that is down to what the community decides that it wants it to be, and it will only have as much power as the community as a whole wishes to give it. So if the community as a whole decides that they wanted to have some sort of control, that's up to the community, but that is something that needs to be voted on. And it's not something that a small group of people who have started this initiative can decide on. And regardless, there are also limitations on how much control or policing a association can legally do. And so even if they do get a certain amount of power, that power is naturally limited by legal limitations.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of, we might be able to give an association the power to decide certain things, but it's also an organization that's run voluntarily, and so, yeah.
And I mean,
but in the end, it's down to the community.
I mean, usually associations don't necessarily police or decide, like, this is how cosplayers need to do things, or this is how art members need to do things. It's usually guidelines and, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think, like, for example, if the community as a whole, including, and I want to really press this, including all convention organizers, decided that they wanted a cosplay association to be able to decide rules for example, cosplay competitions or stuff like that, then and only then would an association have that kind of power. But that would not happen unless all of these people said, yes, we want this. And if one convention says that, no, we actually don't want that, then they won't have it.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that. So it's kind of like, it is what you make it, really. And I don't think that I don't think anyone is really interested in the Cosplay Association becoming some sort of controlling organization for anything. I think it would be a matter of giving guidelines, giving references, and giving information rather than deciding on things that will affect the cosplay community in a huge, huge way. So I think if you're a cosplayer and you're not really interested in a cosplay association and you just want to do your thing and you don't really care, then I don't think that a cosplay association will affect you in any big way, to be quite honest. I think it'll just like be something that's there if you want it and if you need it, but otherwise we'll be kind of like, meh.
Yeah, you can see it like a little bit like a union at work. Some people are organized and some people aren't. And yeah, it's limitation about what a union can and cannot do.
Yeah. So definitely it's not going to be a cosplay police. I think I can say that with very, very great certainty, because I don't think anyone in the community would want it to be.
I don't think so either.
So I hope that answered your question.
It probably did. He'll. I assume he'll let us know.
Well, he's on 20-minute lag, so he won't see this.
We'll know in 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, if there's something that you feel you haven't had answered yet, then like others said before, go to the event and ask us there or ask anyone there. So yeah.
Right.
I love how Tonya just went, no.
she went to the easy answer and just said no.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love you, Tonya.
Short and sweet.
K-pop hearts. It's like, I sit here for like, talk for 20 minutes and then Tonya's just like, no. Efficiency. I can appreciate that.
Very much so.
I'm good at waffling. Tonya's good at saying no. You should run for treasurer.
Yeah, exactly. No. Can you justify the expenditure of this money? No? Then no.
No. I approve this.
All right. I think that's pretty much all we had for tonight. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to comment on, then please feel free to send us a message or send a message to the Facebook page of the association, or visit what's the address for the webpage for the association, or for the meeting?
A moment of moment.
I think you also, if you just Google Norsk Cosplay Forening, it's like one of the only hit.
Yeah. You'll be able to find it.
It's a temporary solution for a web page as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
So
yeah. And I do apologize profusely for the horrendous design choices.
It's so bad, it's funny.
I know, that was kind of what I was hoping that people would excuse me for, because I made it kind of like in 5 minutes on my phone, and I was just like, I had two rules. It had to be readable, and it had to have a little bit of color on it. And
A little bit. Oh yeah, a little bit. And I am a little bit short on my head.
This is why I don't work with graphics and stuff. I was just like, it's ugly as hell, but I don't care. It just needs to go up now in 10 minutes. And I was working on it.
For a 5-minute webpage, it's great. For a 5-minute webpage, it's amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the Wayback Machine will always remember it.
Yeah.
I can't even find this webpage. I tried to Google it. The only thing I could find was the event on Facebook.
Well, I can put up a link to it on our CosCast Facebook pages, so if you guys want to find it, you can go there.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Before we end...
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Well, I'm back. Yay! I just realized something, and I just wanted to come with a little tip because I forgot to tell you about this earlier. I was doing a workshop at Horten Makerspace a couple of days ago, and they are opening their new makerspace now, and it's just so nice. They have like everything, and it's opening on Saturday with a big party and stuff. So if you live in the Horten or Tønsberg area, you should definitely check out your new makerspace because it's awesome, and I think it's going to be really, really good for cosplayers as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Awesome.
that's my tip of the day. Yeah, Horten Folkeverkstedet, Horten Makerspace. Yeah,
Nice.
they're on Facebook.
I can post the link in the chat now. I just found it.
Yeah, posting in the YouTube chat doesn't work with the links.
No.
It gets censored, unfortunately. But I'm posting it at least on our Facebook page, so people can find it there.
Yeah. Coolio.
Okay, well, I think we're going to just end the episode there. Thank you guys for coming on and talking about the initiative. And so people are saying, don't change the page before we visit it. We need to see how bad it is.
I'm glad that at least can work as
I have print screened it so I can have it forever.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
The atrocity
And anyway,
that is Ingrid's design.
And as a librarian, I can tell you that the Wayback Machine has now archived this, and it will be there for years to come.
Aww.
And we can always visit that page and remember how it used to look.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, that's one of my big hobbies at work. I check out how web page used to be, like Dagbladet in 1995 and stuff like that. It's so funny, and the pages are so bad. It's so bad.
I do promise, though, if I actually put more than 5 minutes into it, actually, like, put some time in, I can make something better. I did with Arthicon. I did. Just, 5
Trust
minutes.
you. We trust you.
Yeah.
I tried to find the Norsk Cosplay Forening, but one of the first links that I got was for Cosplay Norway, and like in the box, and there's a bunch of cheap costumes that you can buy. So I can't find it.
At least you'll find something.
Yes, I'm posting the link in our chat on the Hangout chat, so that you have it here.
Awesome.
It's a Google page. Like the banner, it was kind of a ragtag last minute thing. I will admit, though, I spent more time on actually making the web page than making the header.
This isn't that bad. I can't really see why you guys are...
Oh, it's horrific. It's kind of like the really bad logos you got on 80s children's shows.
This is worse.
Yes. And then you make it worse. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's horrible.
Fine, but I don't agree.
It is kind of like, it's almost so horrible that it's funny.
So funny.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that.
It's so funny. It really is.
Yeah. You're welcome.
There we go. Okay. I've published it on our Facebook page, so we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm going to
Go
end
see the horror.
Yeah. I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you to the audience for being so active in the chat, for asking questions, and thank you to Ingrid and Melina, and to everyone else who has been part of getting this thing into life, making it real. And we'll be seeing you next Sunday, where we will be joined by Matilda, who is the initiative taker for Cosplay Against Cancer.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be a very cool episode. So we hope you guys will join us next Sunday at 9, as usual. And we'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Bye!